Welcome to Late Night Story. When the world goes silent and shadows stretch longer, some stories awaken, whispered only to those still awake. So put on your headphones, turn down the lights, and let me guide you through the quiet hours. If you're listening alone, you're exactly where you need to be. If everyone can leave a comment to let me know where you are listening from in the world, don't forget to subscribe before you drift too far into the dark.
My name's Kevin. And no, I'm not the kind of guy who gets scared easily. Horror movies, haunted houses, creepy legends, I used to enjoy laughing at them. I always thought ghost stories were just that, stories. Entertainment for bored people who liked to be scared. But after what happened in Romania, everything changed. It started during a long backpacking trip through Europe with my cousin, Alia. She's the brave one between us. The kind of person who looks at abandoned buildings and says, "Let's go inside," while I'm the guy Googling whether it's safe. We'd been traveling for about a month. Amsterdam, Berlin, Prague. By the time we reached Romania, we were both pretty exhausted. But Alia wasn't done. She had this list of weird places she wanted to visit. And at the top of that list was Hoja Forest. If you've never heard of it, Hoja Forest is just outside Cluj-Napoca and is nicknamed the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. Locals say it's cursed. People supposedly disappear, get scratched by something unseen, or go in and come out completely different. Ghosts, UFOs, time slips. Name it, someone has blamed it on that forest. Naturally, I thought it was nonsense. When Alia brought it up, I rolled my eyes. A haunted forest, seriously? But she was already pulling up directions on her phone. Come on, it's just trees. And besides, the photos look insane. The trees there grow all twisted like they're frozen mid-scream. I wasn't convinced. Sounds like a great way to get lost, or eaten by a bear. She grinned. What kind of story do you want to tell when you get back home? That you played it safe. That's how she got me. We arrived at the forest in the late afternoon. I remember stepping out of the bus and looking around. Everything felt still. The air was unusually dry and cool, and there was this silence that pressed against your ears like a blanket. No birds chirping, no insects, nothing. The forest itself looked like something out of a Tim Burton movie. The trees weren't tall and noble like in a fairy tale. They were twisted, bent, and curled like they had grown in pain. Some looked like they were trying to escape the ground, others were curled inward like they were hiding from something. I took a few photos, but even through the lens, everything looked off. We followed a dirt path that led into the forest. It was narrow, winding between the trees, and covered in leaves that crunched under our boots. The further we went, the darker it got. The sun hadn't even set yet, but the canopy above blocked most of the light. Shadows stretched longer than they should have, and some looked like they moved when I wasn't watching. I didn't say anything to Alia though. I didn't want her to think I was being dramatic. We walked for maybe 20 minutes before the path opened up into a clearing. It was weird, perfectly circular, like someone had cut a hole into the forest with a giant cookie cutter. No trees grew in the middle, just grass and silence. "Whoa," Alia said. "This is it, the circle." I looked around. It didn't feel natural. I know that sounds vague, but something about the shape, the air, the silence, it all felt wrong. like the forest itself was holding its breath. And then I saw her at the far end of the clearing, just barely visible through the haze of low evening light. A woman. She was standing still between two trees, wearing a long white dress. Her hair was black and straight, falling down past her chest. From that distance, I couldn't see her face, but I could feel her eyes. I swear to God I felt them. Not like I imagined she was watching me. No, it felt like something cold slid across my chest and stopped right on my heart. Like I was suddenly standing under ice water. I nudged Alia. "Do you see her?" Alia didn't answer right away. She squinted toward the trees, and her expression changed. "Yeah," she finally said. But her voice was tight, uneasy. The woman didn't move, just stood there. Still, too still. I took a step forward, like I was trying to get a better look. And that's when the woman tilted her head to the side, just slightly. My whole body tensed from that distance. It shouldn't have been possible. But I swear I saw her face shift. She was looking directly at me, and then Alia grabbed my arm and whispered something that still echoes in my head today. "Don't look into her eyes." I turned to her. "What?" She was staring straight ahead, but her face had gone pale. "Don't look at her. Not in the eyes." "Why?" I asked. "She's the reason people go missing." I wanted to laugh it off, say something sarcastic, but I couldn't. The air around us had changed. The wind picked up for just a moment, strong and sudden, like something had exhaled from the trees. And when I turned back to look at the woman, she was gone. I blinked. Nothing. No sound. No movement. Just empty space between the trees. I didn't see her leave. I said out loud, more to myself than anyone. Alia shook her head. "We need to go now." But what if she cut me off? "Please, Kevin. Just trust me. Don't ask questions. Just, let's leave." And that's when I realized something. I had been standing at the edge of the clearing, staring for, I don't even know how long. Minutes. Seconds. It felt like time had stopped while she was there. And maybe, just maybe, I had already looked too long. We turned back, heading quickly toward the trail. But every part of me felt heavy, like something was pressing down on my shoulders, trying to keep me there. As we walked back through the twisted trees, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was behind us. Not footsteps, just presence, cold, watching. I didn't dare turn around. I think I knew deep down she was still there, and somehow, I had seen just enough for her to see me too. The walk back to the road felt longer than it should have. It was like the trail was stretching itself, refusing to let us go. We didn't talk much. Alia was ahead of me, walking fast with her hood up, her flashlight pointed at the ground. I stayed close behind, constantly looking over my shoulder even though I told myself not to. Everything in that forest looked the same. Twisted trees, gnarled roots, shadows that moved even when the wind didn't blow. At one point, I stopped and turned in a slow circle. I couldn't even tell which direction we'd come from anymore. "Wait," I said. "Are we going the right way?" Alia paused, breathing heavily. "I don't know," she admitted. "I thought I recognized that broken tree over there, but now I'm not sure." We stood there, surrounded by crooked trunks and unnatural silence. The sun had completely disappeared now. The only light we had came from our phones, casting long, weak beams across the forest floor. "I think we're lost," I said quietly. Alia didn't answer. Her eyes were scanning the trees. Don't say that, okay, I said. But what if we are? Then we heard it. A soft crunch of leaves. Not from us. Behind us. Very faint. Like a slow, careful footstep. We froze. I turned. My phone light shaking in my hand as I pointed it toward the sound. Nothing. No movement. No animals. Just that cold, empty silence. Then another step got closer. This time, Alia grabbed my arm. Her grip was tight. Her voice came out as a whisper, sharp and low. Don't turn around. I stared at her. What? She's behind us, she said. I can feel it. Don't turn around. Don't look. My heartbeat was pounding so hard it made my vision pulse. What do? We walk, she said. No matter what you hear or feel, just keep walking. Don't speak. Don't turn. We started moving again. Slowly at first, then faster. Our footsteps crunched louder. I tried to focus on Alia's back, her long black coat, her messy ponytail, swaying with every step. Then came the sound. A voice. It was soft, almost like a whisper right next to my ear. Kevin. I stopped. It sounded like my name. My real name. It wasn't Alia's voice. I turned before I could stop myself, and she was there. The woman from the clearing. Closer this time, maybe 10 feet away. Her dress wasn't white anymore, it was dirty, streaked with dark stains. Her skin was pale, her lips cracked, and her eyes. Oh God, her eyes. They weren't just dark, they were empty, hollow, like tunnels with no end. She didn't blink. She didn't move. She just stared. And the worst part, I couldn't look away. It felt like my body was locked in place. My chest tightened. My fingers went numb. The forest around me faded, and it was just her. Those eyes, pulling me in. Then a voice snapped through the Aralia's voice. Kevin. Don't look. She grabbed my wrist and yanked me forward so hard I stumbled. I blinked, gasped, and suddenly felt my lungs again. My heart was racing like it was trying to escape my chest. We ran, we didn't speak, we didn't stop. We just ran through that cursed forest, not even caring which direction we were going anymore. Finally, after what felt like forever, we saw lights. The edge of the woods. The dirt road. The weak headlights of a distant car approaching. We burst out of the trees like we were escaping a nightmare. And honestly, maybe we were. We collapsed by the roadside, panting, shaking. Alia was crying quietly. I didn't even notice until she turned away from me, wiping her face with her sleeve. I didn't cry, but I felt hollow, like something had been ripped out of me. That night, we didn't speak much. We got a ride back to our hostel from a confused but kind stranger who found us wandering down the road. I remember sitting in the back seat, looking out the window as we passed the forest again. I thought I saw her between the trees, still watching, back at the hostel. Alia made me promise not to tell anyone what we saw. They'll think we're crazy, she said. They'll laugh. But it didn't feel funny. It didn't even feel like something I wanted to remember. That night, I tried to sleep, but every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face again. Pale, dirty, staring, unblinking. And then came the dream. It wasn't a dream like normal. It felt real. I was back in the forest. But this time, it was quiet in a different way. Like everything had been drained of life. There were no trees, just fog. Endless, colorless fog. And then I heard the voice again. Kevin. Soft, echoing. She was behind me. I didn't turn, but I could feel her breath on my neck. I saw you. I woke up sweating, gasping for air. The room was pitch black, and in the mirror, across from the bed, I saw something move. Just a flicker. A shadow. It was gone when I turned the light on, but the chill stayed. All night the next morning, I looked at my phone. There was a photo in my gallery. I didn't remember taking. It was the clearing, empty. But in the corner, barely visible, was part of a white dress. We didn't go back to the forest, and I knew. Somehow I had looked too long. She had seen me, and now, she wasn't going to forget. I didn't tell Alia about the photo. I deleted it the second I saw it. Not because I thought it was fake or some glitch, but because I knew it was real. I remembered everything else about that night in Hoja Forest, but I didn't remember taking a photo that meant something else had, or someone else. I tried to shake it off, convince myself it was just trauma, that my mind was playing tricks. Maybe I was half asleep. Maybe it was Alia who took the photo and forgot. But the truth was, the more I tried to explain it, the worse the pit in my stomach felt. We left Romania 2 days later. I flew back home to Jakarta. Alia stayed behind in Europe, but she texted me every few days, just checking in. Neither of us mentioned the forest. It was like we made an unspoken agreement. Pretend it didn't happen, and maybe it'll go away. But it didn't. The first week home, I felt off. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, covered in sweat. No sound, no dreams, just this overwhelming feeling that I wasn't alone in the room. Like something was standing in the dark corner, just watching. I started sleeping with the light on. By the second week, things got weirder. I'd come home and find things moved around. Nothing major. A chair pushed an inch out of place. A towel that wasn't where I left it. My bedroom door slightly open when I knew I closed it. One night, I found my mirror fogged up like someone had just taken a hot shower. Except I hadn't used the bathroom that day. And written in the fog, just one word. Saw. I stood there staring at it for a long time. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I didn't even wipe it away. I just backed out of the room and slept on the couch. After that, it escalated. I started seeing her in reflections. Not directly, not clearly, just shapes. In windows, in the corner of mirrors, in the black screen of my TV when it was off. Always behind me, always just for a second, but I knew it was her. The woman from Hoja Forest. The one I wasn't supposed to look at. One night, I decided to stay up. I made coffee. Kept every light on in the apartment. Turned off all reflective surfaces, TV, mirrors. Even my phone screen dimmed. Around 2:30 a.m., I felt it again. That pressure in the air. Like the walls were closing in. I stood up, walked slowly to my room, and listened. Silence, but not empty silence. It was full, like the world was holding its breath. Then I heard it. A soft knock, 3 taps, not on the door, on the mirror. I walked into the room, barely able to control the shaking in my legs. The mirror above my dresser was back on the wall. I had taken it down a week ago. I know I did, but there it was. and written on it, in something dark and smeared, "Look again." I didn't. I grabbed a blanket, my keys, and left the apartment. I didn't even put on shoes. I slept in my car that night, parked in front of a gas station. And even there, I dreamed. She was standing in the fog again. Only this time, I wasn't alone. There were others. Dozens, maybe hundreds. All standing in a circle, heads bowed, eyes closed, all around her like statues. And she turned to me. "Don't close your eyes," she whispered. I woke up screaming. The gas station clerk was banging on the window, probably thinking I was having a seizure. After that, I checked into a hotel. No mirrors, no windows, just four walls, a bed, and me. And still, she came. Every night at 3:12 a.m. The exact minute I first saw her in the clearing, I started to think maybe there was no escaping it. That once she saw you, it didn't matter where you ran, because she wasn't haunting a place, she was haunting a person. Me. I called Alia. I hadn't heard from her in weeks. Her number went straight to voicemail. No updates on social media. Her parents said she flew home to Malaysia but hadn't visited them yet. No one could reach her, and then I got a message from her account. No subject, just a photo. It was taken in a forest. Not Hoja forest, but it had the same twisted trees, the same perfect clearing, and in the middle, a woman in white. Only this time, she wasn't alone. Alia was standing beside her, eyes closed, head tilted slightly, smiling. I dropped the phone. I don't know what that photo meant. Whether Alia had become one of them, or if the curse had claimed her. But I know what I saw, and I know what I feel every night at 3:12. That stare. Not in my dreams anymore. Not in the mirror in me. She's inside now, and sometimes, when I look in the mirror, I don't recognize my own eyes. So, if you ever visit Romania, and someone tells you about the forest, listen. And if you see a woman standing alone in the trees, don't look into her eyes, because once you do, she never lets go.